Alright, and moving into our next game, we got a familiar face. On one side is our red Zerg. It's Richard. And on the other side, a new challenger. It's a blue Protoss. It's TossNSalads, who already used a Chrono Boost very aggressively. Usually you save that for once you finish that gateway so you can constantly produce probes under the Chrono Boost, but he is setting up his first pylon onto the low ground, a standard start against Zergs so that you can wall off against those pesky Zerglings. Good luck, have fun, thrown out. As the first Overlord makes his way across, and looks like we're going to get that first expansion up here from Richard. Good timing, right when he's got 300 minerals. And standard starts from both sides. Richard does seem to like to delay his gas a little bit longer. His first extractor. Does mean Zergling speed is a bit slower, but you do get more mineral income, so that once you do finish that spawning pool, you can pretty much constantly make... Well, you obviously will have access to queens, but you can constantly make more Zerglings if you do want to go for that early aggression here. As TossNSalads going to do a little bit of mining micro there. Actually, just going to steal one mineral patch and leave. You can stay there and do some mineral micro, where you try and harvest from multiple patches at the same time. You manually control the probe. So that way the drones from Richard are forced off of the patches because they already think something's mining there. They don't realize it's an enemy mining there. TossNSalads will start up that expansion. I actually started the expansion after the Cybercore, I believe, which is a little bit safer because you obviously get access to that Cybercore faster. You get the Stalkers, the Adepts out. But it does mean your economy is a little bit worse for a tiny bit. Has not gone for a second gas as TossNSalads is throwing down the second pylon though. We'll start the second gas now, but a little bit of oversaturation on the main base. Perhaps opting for a bit more of a mineral-heavy start. Start up the War Cape, and we'll be in a depth first, try and get some damage from scouting down. The Overlord will spot this, of course. Has full information for now. First tech building for Protoss is when they really deviate, though, and it will be the Stargate, a pretty common opening for Protosses into the Zerg because of the ability to make Phoenixes and clear out these pesky Overlords scouting around the map, as well as the ability to get into mineral lines and do a lot of damage there. If you bring, a Phoenix and an Oracle, you can use the Phoenix to pick up the Queen and have the Oracle kill all those drones that are mining. Requires a little bit of micro, but can do a lot of damage if used correctly. The delayed second gas, though, will mean that the production could be a bit slower there. It might all be timing out okay. Who knows? I'm not a master tier player. TossNSalads is. It's all calculated. See what he starts out. Will be a Phoenix first to try and clear out these Overlords that he does see on the high ground. Richard will move this to the pillar up top here so that a Stalker can't reach it. But any Stargate unit can fly over there and do it, so unfortunately that Overlord is going to go down relatively soon. See, the Phoenix will find the Overlord on the high ground. I am a fan of the Disruptors myself. Very fun unit to play with, but micro is a bit difficult. Roach Warren here, Evolution Chamber, and the Lair for Richard. Probably going for a similar build that we saw from him last game. Already started out on this creep spread as well. Has not committed to a third yet. Playing it safe. Richard definitely seems to want to tech up a bit more. Make sure he has a Roach army available pretty early on, along with some upgrades. Roach speed and the range attack very early on, so that he doesn't die to any mid-game all-in, 2-base all-in cheese. Much more consistent and safer way when you're playing on the ladder, I suppose. Especially when you don't want to commit to Overlord speed early on to get that scouting out. But relatively standard openings. Just a slightly delayed third from Richard for the most part. Some more gateways being added on here. Another Tempest coming out here. He's already committed to the Fleet Beacon. So very aggressive here from Richard. From TossNSalads. He's just attack moving this Phoenix across the map here, trying to scout out, trying to find some Overlords. We'll miss that one. As the Phoenix will sit idly for now. A third started up on the other side of the map. Some Overlords just scatting around, trying to make sure there's nothing crazy coming in from the sides. As the Phoenix will get in, we'll try and scout. There's a lot of Queens here, though, and this Phoenix might just go down if he's not careful with it. It's a lot of Queens, buddy. Oh, and he does get it. Richard. Getting that first Phoenix is quite a big victory, actually. Another Tempest just going to sit over here. Rallied out for now. He's probably going to wait until he has a couple more. Tempest get a lot stronger the more you have of them. He's actually making a Void Ray after this. Interesting. Very interesting. So Tempest will come out here in the Void Ray follow-up. I don't see that very often. You know, a couple of Roaches and Zerglings coming across along with a Ravager. The Tempest here. The Warpsins, the Stalker, so the Adept trying to hold the high ground, but it shouldn't for long. Now, Richard has changed his focus over here to these Stalkers. The shield battery is there to save those guys, though, and the Tempest is continuing to fire. And the Force Field, good Force Field from TossNSalads, and should delay his push a little bit longer. So the Ravagers are going to get through, targeting down this Cyber Core. We'll get the kill. We'll kill the Sentry as well, and this should be a lot of probes dead. The workers are trying to protect themselves going into the corner here. The Stalker up on the high ground trying to help out here. The Void Ray comes in, doing a lot of damage here. The two Tempests continuing to fire away, but they don't have a ton of DPS over time, and that's a lot of Roach Ravager to get through here. This attack from Richard is going super well here. Worker count is still pretty high for TossNSalads. It's about even 39 to 41, but this is a huge attack in terms of resources committed from Richard, and he's got a lot done here. Another Warp in here. These are going to be Zealots, though. Chargeless right now. They're continuing to move on these Roaches. Good kiting for now, but he's going to lose these Ravagers, and that means a lot of lost structure damage here. Looks like the probes are going to move back to the natural here as a couple more Roaches stream in. The killing of the Cybercore also delays a lot of tech here. If he wants to add on more Stargates, anything like that, he can't even warp in the Stalkers, the Adepts. So, very, very difficult for him to recover from this one. The tech has been delayed quite a bit from TossNSalads, but he is able to hold off the attack, and the Roaches will have to make their way back home. And that was a pretty big commitment. Richard committed off 2 bases at a 7-minute timing, so he really does not have a good economy to follow this up. It's 38 to 39 in workers as the creep spread continues to move out here. Some more Roaches trying to find some damage here. The Overlords will be targeted down by these Tempests. So TossNSalads' economy is definitely in a better spot, as he's making probe 3 at a time here. Charge is being added on for TossNSalads, which makes a lot of sense considering your Cybercore isn't up right now. A couple of Void Rays sitting here on top of the ramp. The Cybercore does get put back down, but again, in a bit of a precarious position here. If he leaves it here, it could get destroyed again. We'll warp in a Zealot to guard that gap so the Roaches can't get in quite as easily. Just a single Stargate because of the destroyed Cybercore. And, well, now we're going to see a little bit of a lull in the game here as Richard is trying to expand. Roaches are trying to move out again here, but there are a bunch of Tempests harassing them on their way. Upgrades are coming in here for Richard as he's trying to move to Hydralisk here, but he's just doing it off 2 base, and that's pretty difficult. Void Rays will come in here. Prismatic Alignment used, and those Roaches do down pretty quickly. Void Rays are pretty effective taking Overlords as well with that Prismatic Alignment. Do quite a bit of damage here. Again, Richard's supply bot, because he's just lost so many Overlords this game. He's lost quite a bit. 2 Overseers, 4 Overlords, and 24 Roaches, 6 Ravagers, quite a bit. Look at the units lost. He's definitely lost more resources, has Richard, but he got a lot done in terms of delaying the attack. That Cybercore was a pretty big kill. Still not exactly the outcome he wanted from that attack, though. Wanted the game-ending attack there. Pretty big commitment off 2 bases, but he's got a lot of Queens here to try and deny these Tempests. 1 Queen will be taken down here. Still 4 available. No more on the way here. Double Forge now for TossNSalads. We're going to probably move into a ground army after this. The Hydralisk coming in to help out the Queens as well. On the other side, though, there's a lot of Roaches just hiding in the corner. The Void Rays will find that, and the Roaches will be forced to run here. Unfortunately, the problem for Richard is that the range of these Tempests just outranges both the Hydralisks and the Queens. There are a few injects here to try and save some of these units. And they will take out 1 Tempest. TossNSalads a little bit careless there. Losing these Tempests is huge. There's a big, big investment into those units. Not a ton in supply, but a lot of resources. Investing in the Fleet Beacon and just producing out of 1 Stargate, like, you just don't get very many at a time. The upgrade's not coming in here. He did invest still before. He hasn't started those upgrades quite yet as TossNSalads. Roach is now coming in. Oh no! The Zealot wasn't on hold position, so he didn't hold there. And he does open up the gap for the Roaches. More probes going to go down here. Richard, the door has been opened for him, and he's gladly entering. Tempest trying to make their way back to hold this one. Richard now moving in the main base here. He's going to try and knock down this Templar Archives. He get that. It's another big setback in tech. He's going to get the Dark Shrine as well. The cancel is actually going to come through, but still the build is going to have to be reset now. Now Richard continuing to move through. These Roaches will be cleaned up eventually, but a ton of probes lost here. And yep, there the Roaches go down. The Zealots and the Tempest able to take him down here. It's really interesting. He's just committed to these Tempests off of a single Stargate pretty much, which is a very interesting strategy. TossNSalads also sitting on a ton of resources right now. He just does not have the protection facilities to keep up with his mining here as the Hydrals make their way across. There's a few upgrades here. Just one range attack upgrade, but there are a few upgrades on these Hydralists. I believe they do have speed right now. And now these Tempests, I just don't know if they're going to be enough to hold this. There's a few shield batteries here at the third. The Queens also making their way across. Slow Queens, but Queens nonetheless, they have plenty of energy for injects here. A couple Hydralists on the front have been damaged, not taken out quite yet. Tempests don't have any upgrades, I don't believe. Now it's, the charge lot's going forward here, trying to get onto the Hydralists. They're not cutting back, they're just standing their ground. Queens on the other side, using the injects, trying to keep their units alive. Zealot, though, doing a lot of damage here. Just a few Queens left here, but the Hydralists are continuing to move forward here. Going to take out the shield batteries. One already out of energy, and now they get depowered. Overseer is moving back here, but now the Hydralists should be able to take out this third base. Again, TossNSalads just not have enough production. He's just warping in Zealots right now. Which are great units, but he's got 2,400 gas sitting in the bank here. One Overseer goes down, but the Hydralists still continuing to pepper away at these units. One Void Ray, oh, yep, will go down. A good micro there from Richard, guiding forward. Now 5 Tempests trying to cut away. It's 59 to 115 in supply, and now these probes are forced to continue to run, but I just don't know if it's going to be enough to hold this attack. There's just too many Hydralists here for Richard, and TossNSalads, those Tempests just aren't quite fast enough to run away as these probes are moving to the complete opposite side of the map. Even if he saves those guys, I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. On the other side, though, there's 4 Archons being warped in and 1 lonely High Templar. Again, I don't think these forges have been making anything at all, so a bit of a wasted investment there. Excuse me, they did make 1-1, but they haven't started 2-2 upgrades here. Just need those resources to warp in right now. 25 to 39 in workers right now. TossNSalads was once in the lead and is now way behind. These Archons are very hard to take down. The Hydralists will take one. A second one going down. The Archons continuing to try to push forward. The Zealots coming in to reinforce. The Tempest continuing to fire away. I don't think it's going to be enough here. All the Archons go down and just Tempest. 3 left. More Hydralists coming in to reinforce here. And that looks like it will be the game here. Richard, with over 400 APM here at the end, should take out this final Nexus, or this second to last Nexus. And